Hello everyone, Bruello here back with another IFN interview. And today I'm joined by the Tennessee gangster herself, Jenny Savage. How are you doing,
Hey,
Jenny?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, thank you. It's great to finally have you on the channel for the first time as well. And yeah, let's start with this. Last year, you made your Misfits debut against Elle Brook in the main event of Misfits 18. What did you think of that fight and the whole Misfits experience overall?
Well, I have to say it was pretty surreal. It was a blessing, though it didn't go my way. I think that Elbrook was such a joy to have as my debut matchup. I do think that I won that fight, but overall, I can say that I was mostly happy and I feel like I found my place in boxing. So shout out
Awesome.
to Mams as well.
Of course, what a great guy. So, what do you think you could have done differently to potentially win that fight?
I didn't know how bad it was to fight on your back foot. I thought that I
Hmm.
was doing something good by being intelligent as far as defense is concerned. I come from the bare knuckle scene where, you know, that might be something that is also frowned upon over there, but I feel that we only have one brain. However, I think that if I would have took more chances in that fight and been more of a pressure fighter, I think that the fight would have went my way, or at least went to
Hmm.
a split decision, just like it was for Paige Van Zant, even though she got knocked down and I didn't.
Yeah. And would you potentially like to rematch her in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I would love that. I mean, I would love her to get the belt back and for me to challenge her again. I don't know what happened as far as her being stripped. I do think that she's definitely a worthy champion. And
Hmm.
we both made an agreement that we would fight later on in the future. But who knows what her future holds? She's a woman of wealth, and I think that she's not hurting to get back into the ring. I mean, it's definitely a personal choice of hers. And for me, it's not about the money either, but um, it's nice when you can catch a good
Of
payday
course.
and a good pay-per-view. So I would love to fight her for a rematch. I feel like, with the Killer Bee, she's not going to be coming back if I'm not mistaken. I think that she's retired. And so I still think that I'm up for it. If I don't get a fight Elbrook, I think that the next match should be against Paige Van Zant. And, I can't call any shots. I didn't win my last fight, but if I could have
Mm.
some wishful thinking, it would be that.
So, it's been about a year since that fight against Elle Brook. What have you been up to since then?
Yeah. I have been training my ass off, honestly. I've been a coach, a boxing coach. I try my best to um, help reverse any mistakes in the students that I teach. And you know, I I try to help push my fiance forward so that he can have the chance at the UFC spot. He's trying to
Hmm.
get into the UFC or PFL.
Really?
Yes, I've actually recently cornered my own teammate, Danner, Jason Danner. He had
Hmm.
his PFL debut and he won. And now Adrian, my fiance, Adrian Thomas, he's going to be fighting for the LFA in a chance to fight for the UFC. So we're just trying to
Incredible.
focus on that and build our team up and try to get them in the position that they need to be in while I take the back seat until, I get that call from the BKFC or Misfits again. So, just staying busy.
Amazing. And now, I saw that you recently had your first ever wrestling match.
Actually, it was very taxing. I think that I didn't expect to feel so tired after my
Hmm.
match. I have my mentor who set up a match between me and Persia Pierce, and she was such a phenomenal opponent because it wasn't. I guess you could say that it was part pro wrestling and like a
Hmm.
Grand Prix, which is like it's got a blend of pro wrestling and old school, that old school kind of style. Ooh, excuse me.
Oh,
And
that's fine.
um, but I won by finish. I gave her a body shot. She couldn't continue, and And it was pretty cool. I didn't feel so well after my match. It really took a
Hmm.
lot out of me. Like I couldn't really um, say hi to the fans. I said it, I got to do a meet and greet sort of before the match started. So
Hmm.
I got to see some people, but after my match, it's like I couldn't get up. I was so tired. I think that had to went on for about 25 minutes.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it was interesting because usually it's super choreographed, but that
Hmm.
was pretty organic for a match. And I got to a lot to learn. I got to do the first ever boxing match for JCW on the Gathering of the Juggalos also last year, right before my match with Elbrook. So I
Hmm.
was pretty busy as far as like different styles of fighting. I recently had my BKFC return, and I took that match on 2 days' notice as well, and it was not what I
Oh,
wanted it
wow.
to be, but things happen, and I kind of anticipated the outcome. But you
Mm.
got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. And now talking about wrestling, is it something that you would like to do more, or do you want to stick to like boxing?
I'm gonna do it all. I really consider myself a all around fighter. I do MMA, jujitsu. I'm trying to get into the pro wrestling thing. I really want to be more acrobatic, like my fiance. He's a pro wrestler, and he's who's gotten me into this. So,
Okay.
he does a lot of things like frog splashes, backflips. He's all over the place. I call him like a flying squirrel. So
Wow.
yeah, I definitely want to do it all. I know it's a lot on the body, but I mean, life is short, and I try to do as much as I can while I'm young.
Of course. And what do you think is the hardest sport that you've done so far?
Definitely pro wrestling. It's definitely the hardest. I think that you gotta have composure. You gotta learn how to work with people, and to not let it get you emotionally like aggravated. I have to learn how to get along with the people that I'm going to have to wrestle with, and understand that there's different personalities in the industry. I definitely want to get into a JCW match and
Hmm.
battle Danny Moe. I think that's her name, but she's the current champion. And there was talks of me becoming the JCW champion. So I mean, hopefully I can earn that right to that match and get to be on that scene again.
Amazing. And now, moving on.
Yeah, of
For your
course.
Misfits debut, you competed in BKFC and also on Anthony Taylor's promotion CFL. How
Yes.
did those opportunities first come about for you?
Well, for the BKFC, I was already in line to fight Taylor Starling in a rematch, and I really do feel like the OnlyFans stuff does play a huge part in which way the judges will be swayed if say it goes the distance. And
Hmm.
everybody says not to leave it in the hands of the judges to make that decision, but it's hard whenever you have somebody that's determined to not lose. The last time Taylor Starling was in that actual place of New Mexico, it's where we competed. She
Hmm.
had not had the best time. She a lot of people said she gave up and she quit against Christine Ferreira. So she had a lot to prove against me, being somebody that has TKO'd her in the past. I really do feel like I beat her. I closed her eye up. She looked like she was blind. My hand broke. My wrist was broke. My thumb was broken. I wasn't able to
Oh,
talk about
damn.
it because, yeah. So that was kind of devastating. That I feel like the commission of New Mexico, and this is not a reflection on the BKFC, but because they have to go through so many different commissions, that they didn't really take care of me. Like they didn't believe that my hand was
Hmm.
broke. That is what made me kind of hesitant during that match because that was my left hand. And if you see back, I want to say it was like in the third round or so, I snapped her head back a couple of times, and that's when it broke. So it's kind of hard to fight with just your jab, which I've
Yeah.
learned how to adapt with. But that's how that opportunity happened. It took me a little bit to get back in the BKFC scene due to the fact that somebody had said that that was not an exciting match, which I digress. I can completely disagree with that, but that's just an opinion. Um,
Hmm.
as far as the CFL, my coach had gotten in contact with Anthony Taylor, and that man honestly breathed the life back into my hope as far as like motivation and believing in myself again, because I just feel discouraged due to the fact that, I think that there's more anticipation for me to sexualize myself. And I just can't do that with my son being 16 years old, and he lost his
Hmm.
father to mental health. And um, so I believe that, me talking to Anthony Taylor about that,
Hmm.
he seen where I was coming from, and he believed in me, and it gave me another chance at what I wanted to do, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that like what the girls are doing, I'm not really like shunning them,
Hmm.
but more or less, I don't want to be punished for not doing what they do. And so that's where I've had to kind of like capitalize on the opportunity to fight those types of fighters and to prove myself that, yeah, I might be cheated, but it's not the time to give up, and to stay in my own line and prove that I'm worth fighting for world titles, main
Of
events, and
course.
I can win, So I don't really want to leave it in the hands of the judges, but as I said, these things do happen, unfortunately, and I can definitely tell you I've been working on my aggression and working really, really hard studying boxing every single day. So I'm not the same fighter. I'm not depressed. I don't have the same outlook on how things are. And I actually have
Hmm.
more optimistic, beliefs in myself. And I hope that that translates in the next fights.
Amazing. And also, your most recent BKFC fight, as you mentioned earlier, was this past July against Christine Vincent, which unfortunately didn't go your way. Can
Yeah.
fans expect to see you back in the BKFC, or is that chapter closed for you?
No, I'm definitely coming back. She outweighed me by a lot. I
Hmm.
got the call 2 days notice, and I try my best not to bring my personal life into things, but my fiance has type 1 diabetes, and I really needed to get money to essentially pay for my rent. Um, insulin is very expensive. Um, his doctors and all the insurances, it's just it can get out of hand. And he doesn't talk to me about these things, but I can tell, I can feel when we're struggling, and
Hmm.
I don't like to struggle. So I felt like that was a great opportunity, even though I knew that I was creating a sacrifice. I felt that I would do the BKFC a favor, do Christine Bison's a favor, and I know that I would never really ever do something like that again. But with the circumstances that I was facing, my car being out of commission, um, my son starting back his back in high school, I
Hmm.
just felt like it was just something that I had to commit to, and I envisioned it before we flew. I had to cut a lot of weight. I had just cut 30 pounds for a match that they gave me last minute before that, against Crystal Van Wyck. And that one didn't work out because, she was underweight. It's not her fault. It wasn't communicated to her that I was going to be overweight by 2 pounds.
Hmm.
So I was already exhausted from that. Not trying to make any excuses, but I ended up gaining a lot of that weight back. And to cut weight and be on a hydration clause against somebody that is at 135 pounds, that's not my weight class. I generally like to
Yeah.
fight at 115. And I'm 5'2", or arguably 5 foot. So,
Hmm.
I knew what I was getting myself into, and it's definitely gonna cause a lot of people to underestimate me. It oddly enough didn't really make me as sad as I typically would, because I
Hmm.
kind of knew the outcome that I was facing. It's just, like I said, I saved the fight. I feel like now I'm in a position to negotiate for the BKFC and say, hey, I would like to fight with a full fight camp. I would like to fight at
Oh
my
yeah,
weight class.
of
I would like
course.
to finally be ranked, which they did rank me number 5 now. I think it probably changed since there's been
Oh
some
wow.
girls that fought. But yeah, I've gotten everything that I feel like I finally earned. And, it's bittersweet, but, I think that my comeback is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen in this industry.
Wow. And with that being said, when can we exactly expect to see you back in the BKFC?
I I honestly plan on taking my time. I really want to build myself up. You know, I've had some things happen in my career that I'm not too proud of, that was out of my control. I've had to muscle through, essentially. Like, where it all started was in 2020, my son's dad took his life, as I said before. And that
Mm-hmm.
was very hard to get through because my son was just turning 13. Um, it was my best friend in the world. He and I just didn't see eye to eye as far as being together, but we talked all the time. And I didn't see him. I mean, I guess I knew he had depressive tendencies, but I didn't think that he would just outright do that. And then the
Yeah.
pandemic, he didn't have a casket. We could barely go into the room to see him, to exhume his body. There was a lot of things that was in within me that I needed to work out spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And going into some of the matches, like with Britton Hart, you know, teasing me, bullying me, bringing up his death, bringing up the fact that her and her friends were saying such heinous things about us. And so I went into a lot of my matches emotional. And I'm the
Mm-hmm.
type of fighter, I even tell my own students, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. So I definitely
Yeah.
was not happy. I feel like I was in the best shape of my life, but my mind was just trash. I couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
out of my emotions, out of my depression. And then when I had my rematch for the world title against Britton Hart in Virginia, her home state, it just, it was horrible because my coach, he had decided that he didn't want to come with me and he'd rather go with another fighter. And that is what that was. But
Oh,
I was
damn.
essentially by myself. And then right after that, my fiance had a insulin attack.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to look at this as more like a victim mindset, but now looking back on all of it, it's my testimony that I went through all of this shit and I can still face every single thing that comes up against me, and I'll look it dead in the eye and I'll commit to whatever it is that I stand for, you know, and at the end of the day, I can say that I did it exactly how I wanted to in that moment, despite the
Yeah.
circumstances that has been in front of me.
I'm quite sorry to hear about that like situation that you just told, because yeah, that kind of
That's
sucks.
that's okay. That's okay. I say there's somebody out there that needs to see it. They
Yeah,
need to
of
see me
course.
overcome this, you know, like my son could be one of those people, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, 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 totally. Going back to Misfits now. You've recently been called out by the Misfits lightweight champion Carla Jade, as she wants to fight you next. And in her words, she wants to put that dog down. What is your response to her call out?
Well, she's not gonna do nothing. I honestly can see that she's obviously scared. I think she's really using me for her own attention so that she can become relevant. You know, it's a big opportunity for her to fight me because I don't fight on prelims. That's what
Hmm.
she's had to deal with this whole time. And that's why I call her prelim champion. You know, she's not that exciting. I don't think that she has the technique, nor class, nor mentality to withstand anything that I have. And I honestly think that this is the worst time for her to fight me. Um, you know, she should have got to me when she could have, you know, and
Hmm.
you know, I just don't think that she has it in her. She don't got that dog in her, you know what I'm saying? So just to throw
Yeah.
that back in her face. I don't take her serious. She will be the first she will be the first fighter I do not have respect for. None whatsoever, because
Really?
when she could have, yeah, when where she could have like insulted me based off of my skill set, she
Hmm.
decided to call me ugly, fat, stinky, like some elementary insults. And I just feel like she does not have the proper outlook of what it is to be called a fighter. That's why people don't consider her a real fighter. And you know, I think that I'm that fighter to take all of that grief and give her exactly what I went through in concentration.
Yeah.
Um, she um, she likes to just bring up that, you know, I've lost a couple of my biggest fights, and I did. But you want to know, she would never even last a minute against half the people that I've lost to. So
Ah.
that being said, I really would like to either fight her Misfits, bare knuckle. I don't care where she wants to fight. I'll let her pick. I'll let her pick the weight class. I don't care. she's not going to beat me. I'm going to knock the shit out of her, and I'm going to break her ribs. Like, I've been plotting and training and studying, and she's about to go against the toughest, most intelligent, bravest version of me, and I'm not going to back up. She's going to try to run the whole time. I'm going to cut the ring in half, and I'm going to
Hmm.
finesse her into my punches. She's not going to escape me. You know, she escaped Danny, she escaped Melanie. I'm going to be very patient in my fight, and every single punch is going to have every bit of my anger. And
Damn.
I'm telling you, dude, like, she's the most disrespectful person I've ever had to face.
Wow. And yeah, have you seen some of her past fights? And what do you think of those?
I think that Melanie Shaw was screwed. But I do know she's not as marketable because she has her account on private. I've
Hmm.
said that to her before, and I think she took offense the first time. But now we've buried the hatch, and we forgave one another. You know, I think that she's a great fighter. We both fought Britain Hart and Christine Bison's. Um, I feel like that was Melanie's moment to take that fight, but I do think that, like I said before, sex appeal plays a big part in the industry as a woman, unfortunately. And, you know, neither her nor I really embrace that as much as we do being an all around fighter. So it's unfortunate she didn't win.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, I mean, Darren had only fought or been training for like 8 or 9 months. Um, you know, nobody that Carl, other than Melanie,
Yeah.
really gave her a good look, or but I feel like, I got into it with Melanie also because I felt that I could defeat her. So I think she took offense to that, which, I guess she has every right to feel offended. But who would I be if I didn't believe in myself? That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. There's nothing to fight for if you don't think you're going to be capable of a victory. So um yeah, so I'm not impressed with Carl. I feel like she's very slow. She fights in slow motion. She doesn't use her reach. She has a low fight
Hmm.
IQ, and her body is wide open. So, you know, I don't think
Yeah.
it's smart for her to fight me at 115 or 112.
Yeah. 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 I believe as well that on the card that you fought Elle, she also fought against Nikki Haru. That was like the
Yeah,
bloodiest female Misfits fight ever.
absolutely. But look at Nikki's past. No offense to her. I think she has great potential, but she too didn't have very, very long of a history. And, versus myself, I've been training boxing since I was in middle school. I've been,
Hmm.
an actual MMA fighter since 2012. Um, I've been through the best and worst fights of my entire life. And I just, in comparison to Nikki just didn't have enough ring time. That's all it came down to at the end of the day. And she's smaller than me.
Yeah. True.
So, yeah, I mean, for what she was able to put out there, she did good. It's just Carla is like, what is she, like 5'10", 5'9"? She's got
Possibly.
long arms. So, I mean, I think that what I would like to do though is if I fought her at 112 pounds, I would cut that weight.
Hmm.
And I would vacate the belt to give back to Nikki.
Wow. Crazy.
She wants to fight me at 115, I'll keep the
Oh
belt.
yeah, of course. And if this fight does happen on a future card, how do you envision this fight going?
I think that I'm gonna dog walk her for the entire fight if I don't knock her out. And I don't think I'm necessarily gonna knock her out upside the head, but I think that I'm going to body shot. She's not like, I've been dropping people.
Hmm.
If since since my last fight for the BKFC, I have been throwing body shots. And shout out to my opponent Becca Robinson for the CFL.
Hmm.
But I didn't stop her by body shot, but I definitely hurt her ribs. And maybe she can vouch for that. She was a great fight. She's about as tall as Carla, and I believe
Hmm.
that Becca Robinson could also stop Carla. So that being said, I think that that fight was clear proof and evidence that the same thing but worse would happen to Carla, because I actually have a lot of respect for Becca Robinson. She also hasn't been in the ring as nearly as long as I have, but she's a talented boxer, up and coming, and I think that she's going to actually be one of the people that I train with to fight for Carla. So hopefully she's not just using me for publicity and
Of
this fight
course.
actually happens. Because, you know, there's nothing more annoying than somebody that runs their mouth and pretends like I'm the one running my mouth when all
Hmm.
I've done was just respond. I mean, I could show you voice messages that she has sent me, unwarranted, calling me stupid, like just like I said, these elementary playground insults that
Damn.
just again are not warranted. I don't even know what I've said or done previous to that to make her feel so provoked as to, you know, act so insecure.
Hmm. Wow. And now, aside from Carla Jade, are there maybe any other fighters that you would like to call out to fight on Misfits?
Man, I would love to fight Ty Emery. I think that that would be a great fight. I have a lot of respect for her, but obviously we want to see the bad blood get out of the way. So definitely Carl Joe. That's what I like to call her. I like B Win. I think that she's great. Unfortunately, I like I said before, I think that she's retired. But I wouldn't turn down a fight with her either. Um, Everyone else, I kind of just I'm cool with. I mean, I would fight that. Who is the girl that came into the ring, to confront Carla after she won this last fight?
Little Belzy, I think it was, right?
Yeah,
Or
I'll fight her. Yeah, I don't know her like that. I just know that, you know, she's trying to skip the line. So I mean, you know, if she wants that smoke, I'll fight her and earn my match with Carl. I mean, I really don't care. Um, I would even have a freak show fight with Barbie. Even though
Mhm.
she's a lot bigger than me, but I would fight her. I think I would win that fight. Um, Here, it would either be a close fight because she's so big, but I could see it going a distance because she's really tall. But overall, I think I would win. Definitely don't want to fight Julie. She's big. I
Yeah.
don't know what Elle was thinking trying to fight her, but you know, hats off to her for being so brave to step in there with the champ. Yeah, I'll fight anybody, honestly. In the BKFC, I have a lot of people that I would like to fight. I would love to have that rematch with Crystal Van Wink, with an actual fight camp. I think I
Mhm.
would beat her. Um, I think there's Sarah Shell. She's been running her mouth. I think she's on steroids because she's got a
Oh
really deep
well.
voice. So I don't like her very much. She ran her mouth and said she would beat up me and Elle in the same night when I was paying homage to
Damn.
Elbert. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I bet your roid raging ass would try to fight me and think that you're gonna win. But you know, other than that, I don't really have anybody. I mean, I created a hit list. Forgot
Mhm.
who was all on it. Um, but I mean, anybody could get it. I'll love to fight Taylor Starling again for a trilogy because I think I won the second time. I definitely won the first time by TKO. Um, you know, who knows if we'll ever fight again. It more likely be for the BKFC or for a very
Mhm.
nice purse. Um, I want to fight Britton Hart again, but obviously I've got to work my way back up the ranks for BKFC. And I don't know. Other than that, who do you think I should fight?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Um, I think definitely Carla, because that would be like a natural fight for you. What about Paige Van Zandt if she ever
Yeah,
returns?
absolutely. She's the number one person I want to fight. Um, I mean, I'm right there. I'm right there. So I think that that should be my next fight. But obviously, I've heard Paige before in an interview. She goes, I want super fights. And, you know, I
Mhm.
think it's a super fight. I mean, she got dropped by Elbrook and I didn't. That should be
Yeah.
in conversation. I would fuck her up. You know, we were actually supposed to fight in the BKFC. She said she would fight me. I ended up fighting Britain Hart instead. That's not who I wanted to fight, but I was not fixing to let her just disrespect me like that. I don't care if I was gonna win or lose.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people, there's like some weird smear video, AI video that's always circulating every couple of months, and it's pretty much making fun of me, saying I got humbled. There's not. I'm telling you right now, somebody bullies me, ain't nobody gonna humble me. I don't care if you kick my ass.
Of
Humbling me
course.
is like making me run away, making me cower, making me say, "Oh my gosh, you're the best." I'll never, I'll never, till my dying day, I'm never gonna ever acknowledge her as greater than me. I don't care if people think she kicked my ass or whatever. She'll never humble me. Um, you know. So yeah, I wanted to fight Paige Van Zant, and that didn't happen. She ended up blocking me because
Oh,
I don't
damn.
even know. I didn't even do anything. She said she would fight me, and the next thing I know, she blocked me and stopped fighting for the BKFC. So
That's
she was
crazy.
ringside for my last fight, though.
Hmm. So maybe that's a possible matchup. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's a big money fight right there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I
of
hope
course.
so.
And now finally, if you can send one message right now to your fans, or even someone like Carla Jade, who's called you out, what would it be?
Oh man, lace up. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a barn burner. All that shit she was talking, saying that I wasn't shit, saying that I'm a horrible fighter. I fumbled the bag, as she says. She's called me everything under the sun except for a child of God. And I hope that everyone remembers that. So when I beat her ass, what does that mean for her?
Yeah,
But to my fans or my supporters, I'd like to say I love you and thank you for believing in me, and always fight the good fight. Do what's right in your heart and never give up on yourself or what you love. And to take your time. So, and use your jab.
of course. Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed and see you all next time. See you.
See you.